Peter did everything right. He saved money and stayed disciplined. He believed that was enough, and that's what makes it dangerous. That one day, he would finally feel ahead. Not rich, not extraordinary, just ahead, comfortable, in control of his life. But that day never came. At first, he blamed himself. Money came in, money went out. Just no progress. The harder he tried to hold on to money, the faster it seemed to slip away. Then one day, something small caught his attention. He was about to make a purchase. His thumb moved toward the screen, almost automatic, like a habit that didn't need permission anymore. And then he paused. He didn't complete the action. He didn't swipe. He just observed. And that's where everything started to change. He began noticing things, not just his spending, but everything around it. Every time he spent money, he got something back. Cashback, points, rewards. If he was being rewarded, why was his money still decreasing? That question stayed. Hey, this is Peter. And today, Peter is back with a story you might recognize. Not a story about failure, but about something that feels completely normal. And that's what makes it dangerous. Peter did everything right. He saved money, avoided unnecessary risks, and stayed disciplined. He believed that was enough, that if he just kept going, things would improve. That one day, without doing anything extreme or taking big risks, he would finally feel ahead. Not rich, not extraordinary, just ahead, comfortable, in control of his life. But that day never came. Every month felt the same. Money came in, money went out, and no matter how careful he was, no matter how many times he told himself, this month will be different, it never really was. There was no collapse, no big mistake, just no progress, just a quiet loop repeating itself again and again. At first, he blamed himself. Maybe he wasn't earning enough. Maybe he needed to work harder. Maybe he needed to be more disciplined. So he tried harder. He cut expenses, skipped small pleasures, delayed things he wanted, and said no more often than yes, believing that sacrifice now would create freedom later. But something strange happened. The harder he tried to hold on to money, the faster it seemed to slip away. Not dramatically, not all at once, but slowly, quietly, consistently, like something in the background was working against him, something he couldn't see but could definitely feel. That's when the doubt started. Not loud, not overwhelming, just a small thought that kept returning. What am I missing? Then one day, something small caught his attention. Not a big event, not a mistake, just a simple moment he would normally ignore. He was about to make a purchase, nothing unusual, something small, something he had done hundreds of times before. His thumb moved toward the screen, almost automatic, like a habit that didn't need permission anymore. And then he paused, just for a second. And in that second, a question appeared. Why does this feel so easy? It wasn't a big question, but it stayed. It lingered longer than it should have. For the first time, Peter didn't move on immediately. He didn't complete the action. He didn't swipe. He just observed. And that's where everything started to change. He began noticing things, not just his spending, but everything around it. Everywhere he looked, there were signals, bright screens, moving numbers, flashing colors, constant motion, designed to hold attention just long enough to influence a decision. Messages designed to feel urgent, only today, last chance, limited time. Each one small on its own, but powerful together. Everything was pushing him in one direction, forward, now, immediately. Waiting suddenly felt wrong, like he was losing something just by not acting. Then he noticed his phone. Notifications didn't feel random anymore. They came at specific moments. When he was bored, when he was tired, when he wasn't thinking clearly, when his guard was down. It felt timed, not forced, but optimized. And then came a deeper realization. No one was telling him to stop. No one was saying, "Think about this," or "Wait a moment," or "Do you really need this?" That voice simply didn't exist. The system had only one direction: spend. But what confused him the most was how good it felt. Every time he spent money, he got something back: cashback, points, rewards, small confirmations that made the decision feel right. Small wins, instant feedback, signals that said he was doing something smart. It felt like progress. But when he looked closer, the reward was small and the spending was not. That's when the contradiction hit him. If he was being rewarded, why was his money still decreasing? That question stayed. And slowly it changed how he saw everything. Peter stopped looking at the surface and started looking at the system. He realized something most people never notice. Banks don't just protect money. They depend on movement, because when money moves, they earn. Every transaction triggers something: a small fee here, a small percentage there. Nothing obvious, nothing painful, but constant and relentless. And then he saw something deeper. It wasn't just about transactions, it was about time. If he spent money he didn't fully pay back, time started working, not for him, but against him. Interest didn't feel dangerous at first. It felt small, manageable, almost invisible. But it didn't stop. It kept growing quietly in the background until it became impossible to ignore. And suddenly, something clicked. The system didn't need big mistakes. It didn't need him to fail dramatically. It only needed small ones, repeated over time. But even that wasn't the deepest layer. The real power of the system wasn't financial, it was behavioral. Everything was designed to remove friction, to remove thinking, to remove hesitation, to make action feel natural and effortless. There was no pause, no resistance, no moment of doubt, just one tap. And because it was so easy, he stopped noticing. Money didn't feel real. Loss didn't feel immediate. Consequences didn't feel connected. That's when Peter saw the full structure clearly. Spend and feel good. Wait and feel nothing. Bill arrives and feel pressure. Pay and feel relief. And then repeat. Not because he had to, but because it felt normal. That's what made it powerful. It didn't feel like a trap. It felt like everyday life. Peter thought about his past, all the small decisions, all the times he said, "It's just this once. It's not a big deal. I'll handle it later." Each one felt harmless, easy to justify, easy to forget. But together, they created a pattern that slowly took control of his money without him realizing it. And then came the biggest realization. The system wasn't designed to destroy him. It didn't need him to struggle. It didn't need him to fail. It only needed consistency. As long as he kept participating, even casually, even unconsciously, the system worked perfectly. That realization didn't make him angry. It made him aware. For the first time, he saw his role clearly. He wasn't trapped. He was participating. And that changed everything. Because if he was participating, he could choose differently. Not by rejecting everything, not by becoming extreme, not by cutting himself off from life, but by doing something simple, pausing, before every decision, even for a moment. Because in that moment, he wasn't reacting anymore, he was choosing. And that changes everything. Because once you can see the system, it doesn't disappear, but it loses its power over you. And that's when Peter understood the truth. Banks don't need you to lose. They don't need you to struggle. They don't even need you to fail. They just need you to keep playing. Because every time you do, every tap, every swipe, every just this once, the system works exactly as it was designed to. Perfectly. So the real question is not, should you stop spending? The real question is, now that you can see it, will you keep playing the same way?